Manchester United had 2 goalkeepers on their books, yet when it mattered most, they trusted neither. But now, their goalkeeping nightmare is finally over. When deadline day came, they had a choice: a World Cup winner or a Euro Cup champion. But United chose a 23-year-old Belgian most fans had never heard of. They went for the unknown, but it only took a handful of games for Senne Lammens to announce himself to the world. Manchester United have been a victim of their own recruitment in the past few years, but nowhere was that collapse more visible than in goal. For context, in 2023, Andre Onana arrived from Inter to replace David De Gea as a modern, ball-playing goalkeeper who would transform United's build-up play. Altay Bayındır arrived to push him to another level. These were 2 national team keepers. 2 modern profiles. On paper it looked perfect, but when reality hit, turns out that neither proved secure enough for Manchester United. Because behind the PR optimism, the numbers were brutal. For Onana, he had 16 errors leading to shots across last season, 8 errors leading directly to goals, and somehow in his 100+ appearances for the club, he was only able to keep 24 clean sheets. But it's not just the clean sheets, it's the performance as well. If you were a striker who could remotely hit the target against Manchester United with either Onana or Bayındır in goal, your chances of scoring were guaranteed. Ziyech had a feast on Onana in the Champions League clash between Manchester United and Galatasaray. In a system demanding composure and control, United's goalkeepers delivered chaos and crisis. And here's the painful truth: Onana wasn't a bad goalkeeper, he was simply the wrong goalkeeper. At Inter, he thrived behind a structured, low-exposure defensive unit. At United, he stood behind 11 players whom he neither knew how to control nor knew how to elevate them. Every high ball felt like a countdown to disaster. Every back pass felt like a dare. Bayındır barely played, but when he did, the anxiety leaked through the broadcast. He wasn't ready for this environment. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Meanwhile, Ruben Amorim walked in with a completely different philosophy. In his world, the goalkeeper isn't a shot stopper, he's a conductor. The first passer, the tempo setter, the anchor of pressing shape. One misplaced pass breaks the rhythm. One spilled cross collapses the press. One hesitation destroys everything. So when it came to the summer, yes, Emi Martinez and Gianluigi Donnarumma made sense on paper. Elite, experienced, globally recognised. But both came with problems United couldn't afford. Martinez, 34 years old, short-term fix for a long-term rebuild. Donnarumma, Champions League pedigree, yes. But he is highly inconsistent, under pressure, and even more questionable with his feet. Add that to his wage packet, then you have yet another liability that would fracture United's entire budget. But there was Senne Lammens, a 23-year-old Belgian from Royal Antwerp that most fans couldn't recognise on FIFA without subtitles. No Premier League experience, no medals, no hype. All he had going for him were just numbers. Really, really good numbers. When the news broke that Lammens was the chosen one, the reaction was immediate and negative. But what the outside world missed was the quiet revolution unfolding within Manchester United's walls. A complete restructuring of how the club thought, signed and built. And if you think choosing an unknown over serial winners sounds insane, wait till you hear the data behind the decision. And speaking of the unknown, you should hit the like and subscribe button, because just like Lammens, Netbuster grows faster when there's support from the back. To many, choosing a young Belgian looked reckless, a club of Manchester United's stature passing up on top-class goalkeepers. But behind that decision was maths, not madness. Inside Carrington, a quiet revolution has been taking shape. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's football department has turned recruitment into a science. Every signing now goes through the performance matrix, a system that tracks over 120 goalkeeper metrics across Europe's top leagues. Every dive, every claim, every misplaced pass, every reaction under pressure, logged, analysed, dissected, and it's not just goalkeepers. This is the same system behind the recent transfer revolution. When that data was filtered through Amorim's tactical model, only one name fit his goalkeeping profile perfectly: Senne Lammens. Lammens wasn't the biggest name, but he had the biggest differential in every metric that mattered. Where Onana had a save percentage of 68.9%, Lammens stood at 81.4%. Where Beyender struggled to prevent even one expected goal across a season, Lammens recorded a plus 14.5 post-shot expected goals differential, meaning he prevented almost 15 goals that should have been conceded. He didn't just save shots, he saved games. But here's where it gets really interesting. When his numbers were mapped against Amorim's tactical demands, the fit was almost perfect. In Amorim's 3-4-3 build-up, the goalkeeper isn't passive, he's the third centre-back. At Antwerp, Lammens averaged 7 successful long passes per game compared to Onana's 4. He completed 859 passes at a 76.5% success rate. For context, these are numbers that rival midfielders, not goalkeepers. And his error rate, just 0.13 per match. These highlights are what United were buying, not potential proof. And I know it might be too soon or controversial to say it, but it looks like United weren't gambling on him. They were actually evolving. Signing Lammens isn't just about a goalkeeper, it's about structure and identity. To understand why Senne Lammens works so well for Manchester United, you have to first realise how Ruben Amorim's football actually functions. Amorim doesn't see the goalkeeper as a last line of defence, he sees him as the starting point of attack. In his 3-4-3 system, the build-up begins from the back, where the goalkeeper steps into the line between the centre-backs to create numerical superiority. It's not about playing pretty passes, it's about control. That's what killed Onana under Ten Hag. He had the tools, but not the framework. He was asked to be a sweeper keeper without the defensive structure to support it. He was asked to play out from the back while being pressed by 2 strikers with no clear passing lanes. In Amorim's setup, there's structure behind every pass. And so far, Lammens fits this perfectly. Since his arrival, the Belgian ranks first in long passes, first in progressive passes, first in defensive duels won, second in goals prevented, second in passes into the final third, and fourth in save percentage across the entire Premier League. But even beyond the structure, there's something simple about Lammens that every fan can see without looking at the numbers. He's composed, he's direct, he's dependable. This is why Amorim wanted him, because for his system to function, the goalkeeper must be more than comfortable with the ball. He must also be trusted. But not only has he been the perfect fit for Amorim's system, he has also solved Manchester's goalkeeping crisis for the next 10 years. Ask anyone who watched this team last year and you'll discover they never trusted both goalkeepers on their wage bill. But this season, there is a sense of trust between the defenders and Lammens, between the coach and Lammens, and most importantly, between the fans and Lammens. In case you haven't noticed, he mirrors Belgium's modern tradition of goalkeeping excellence. At 6'4", Lammens carries the same physical authority that made Thibaut Courtois one of Europe's best. In fact, Courtois said Lammens is a huge talent, obviously not experienced yet, but he thinks his style is well suited to the Premier League. Belgium may have found its next number one, and United might have found theirs for the next decade. I know it's just his first few games, but the difference has been obvious. Against Sunderland, he made decisive saves that shifted the game's tempo. The next match against Liverpool confirmed it wasn't a debut fluke. He came off his line with confidence, claimed crosses under pressure, and turned anxious moments into ordinary ones. Lammens hasn't made Manchester United spectacular, but it's the presence of his stability at the back that instills confidence when the team goes forward. This is what Schmeichel did. This is what Van der Sar did. This is what De Gea did in his prime. For years, the club searched for someone who could bring back that sense of certainty. De Gea was the last to do it. He wasn't flawless, but he made the impossible look ordinary. When he left, United lost more than a shot stopper. They lost their anchor. With Lammens, there's something almost familiar about watching him. The way he organises the line without shouting. The way he catches under pressure and instantly starts a counter-attack. It's not loud dominance like Schmeichel's. It's quiet control. The kind that makes everything around it work. In football, there will be moments where a player has a dip in form and makes costly errors. Fans and coaches alike will need to be patient with Lammens as he continues to learn. If a mistake or two happen, it will be about how he responds, and his mentality suggests he'll bounce back strongly instead of collapsing. What's encouraging is he calls United the perfect place to keep developing, and talked about growing with the team to reach his goal. He is not Schmeichel yet, but you could see the resemblance. He is not Courtois yet, but you could see the composure, the intelligence, and the quiet certainty. The pressure is high playing for a club like Manchester United, but Belgium may have found its next number one, and United might have found theirs for the next decade. Manchester United didn't fix their goalkeeping crisis with a superstar, they fixed it with stability. Senne Lammens didn't arrive with hype, medals or headlines, just calm hands, clear decisions, and a level of composure this club has been starving for. He didn't transform United overnight, he didn't make them invincible. But he stopped the bleeding. He ended the chaos. He restored trust. For the first time in years, United don't hope their goalkeeper survives the match. They believe he controls it. And that might be the most valuable save he's made so far. Now the question is, has Senne Lammens stopped the goalkeeping crisis at Manchester United? Does he have the potential to become the best goalkeeper in the world? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for more content on world football. And if you believe Lammens will dominate the position at the Premier League, wait until you see how Declan Rice became the best midfielder in the world. The Englishman went from one of Arsenal's most questioned signings to the cornerstone of the club's best performances. For the full analysis, click on this video right here.